The Chinese military has begun military exercises named Strait Thunder-2025-A near Taiwan. According to Reuters, 76 Chinese military aircraft and 15 ships were detected around the island. A representative of the Chinese People's Liberation Army stated that Beijing has deployed the aircraft carrier Showdown to conduct strikes on both land and sea targets. According to the Chinese side, the drills are aimed at rehearsing the ability to block the island. The exercises come after China ramped up its rhetoric against the president of Taiwan, La Ching-te, who has been labeled as a parasite by Beijing.
The People's Liberation Army of China announced today a so-called new name for the exercises. But regardless of the name, it cannot conceal the overtly provocative nature of the drills and the threat mentality directed at the people of Taiwan.
The Ministry of Defense of Taiwan stated that there was no data on live fire activities near the island. However, they reported that 36 Chinese aircraft entered Taiwan's air defense identification zone. Taipei is preparing for a potential war with Beijing, reports Bloomberg, and is considering 2026 as a potential date for a Chinese invasion.
More drills can be expected this year because in Taiwan we are having a huge political standoff and also very polarized politics in domestic politics right now. So the ruling party, if they want to use the chance to kind of trigger the event to their favor, it's actually a very good tactic to provoke China. China will respond, and that will make Taiwan a victim, under this kind of pressure. So this is actually very helpful for the ruling party to gain votes.
The United States has responded negatively to China's military drills near Taiwan. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated that Washington prioritizes maintaining peace in the region.
The president is emphasizing the importance of maintaining peace in the Taiwan Strait, encouraging the peaceful resolution of these cross-strait issues, reiterating our opposition to any unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force or coercion.
According to the annual U.S. intelligence report, China remains the primary military and cyber threat to the United States. Reuters report that Washington is considering scenarios where Beijing might strike U.S. territory, attack American assets in space, and threaten the nation's infrastructure through cyber attacks. The Washington Post also noted that Taiwan is becoming a key challenge for the U.S. The Pentagon is revising its military strategy and preparing for a possible conflict with China.
For China, this is a red line. The country will negotiate with the U.S. administration, stating that it is categorically opposed to U.S. support for Taiwan. It is categorically against the provision of weapons to Taiwan and insists that Taiwan is part of China, which it will defend, as long as Trump doesn't make statements that would anger China, like those regarding independence and strong support for Taiwan.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China has rejected foreign accusation of escalating tensions in the region. Spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China, Guo Jiakun, noted that the Chinese military will continue to apply punitive countermeasures as long as Taiwan continues to provoke Beijing.
Accusations against China made by a handful of countries ignore the facts, distort the truth, and interfere in China's internal affairs. China strongly condemns this and firmly opposes it. The Taiwan issue is strictly a matter of China's internal affairs and does not tolerate foreign interference.
The European Union has also called on China to exercise restraint and avoid actions that could escalate tensions in the region. Previously, there were discussions in Brussels about the possibility of increasing military presence, including participation in patrolling the Taiwan Strait. Reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Nikita Skoblikov, UATV News. Over the next 2 years, Washington plans to increase its military presence in the Indo-Pacific region due to the growing threat posed by China. According to Reuters, the U.S. will deploy additional forces in several nuclear-powered submarines off the coast of Australia. These measures are part of the AUKUS pact, a military-political alliance between Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States aimed at ensuring regional security.
We are in a time now where we have an opportunity to strengthen the alliance in the Indo-Pacific region, and I think this is going to be a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it.
American nuclear-powered submarines will be stationed at the HMAS Stirling Naval Base in Western Australia to prepare for the rotation of the vessels up to 80 U.S. military personnel will arrive by mid-2025. Over the course of the next 2 years, their number will increase to several hundred. The base is currently being modernized. This is a strategically important site for the United States, as HMAS Sterling is located closer to Asia and the Indian Ocean than the U.S. Pacific Fleet headquarters in Hawaii.
What they gain is the capability to operate a nuclear-powered, conventionally armed warship. So the things that this brings to our Navy and to every Navy, that has nuclear-powered warships is significant and allows us to operate with essentially unlimited endurance, just limited by food.
Australia is strengthening its defense due to the potential threat from China. According to Reuters, the government plans to equip its military with modern anti-ship missiles and upgrade various defense systems. Japan is also bolstering its defense capabilities. According to Kyoto News, the authorities are considering deploying upgraded long-range Type 20 missiles in the southwest of the country on the island of Kyushu. The range of these missiles is about 1,000 kilometers.
The deployment, expected to commence at the end of the next fiscal year in March 2026, is aimed at bolstering the security of the country's southwestern Nansei Island chain, strategically important for its proximity to Taiwan, amid growing fears the self-ruled democratic island may be invaded by China. China regards Taiwan as a renegade province that must be reunified with the mainland by force if necessary, from a Kyoto News publication.
On March 14th, the member states of the G7 issued a joint statement expressing concern over the situation in the East China and South China Seas. The foreign ministers of the G7 countries consider the increase in the nuclear arsenals of China and North Korea a serious threat to international security.
We remain concerned with China's military buildup and the continued rapid increase in China's nuclear weapons arsenal. We called on China to engage in strategic risk reduction discussions and promote stability through transparency. We emphasized that China should not conduct or condone activities aimed at undermining the security and safety of our communities and the integrity of our democratic institutions. From the G7 Foreign Ministers' joint statement on the Government of Canada's website.
Beijing called the G7 statement an interference in its internal affairs and a deliberate distortion of facts. In Pyongyang, North Korea promised to further expand its nuclear arsenal. The development of nuclear weapons is considered by North Korea as its right to self-defense, according to a statement released by the state news agency. North Korea has been deploying nuclear weapons and cruise missiles capable of carrying nuclear warheads since 1960s. The UN Security Council has passed several resolutions aimed at limiting North Korea's nuclear program and imposed sanctions on the country. Reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Nikita Skoblikov, UATV News.